Today we have with us Professor Padmaraj Kesruel sir from Department of Forestry, Northeast Regional Institute of Science and Technology. I request C.S. Sanwal sir to please felicitate Professor Kesruel.
Are you requesting me to deliver my
Sir, after felicitation, I welcome Dr. Supriyo Sen, Assistant Professor, Department of Biosciences, Assam Don Bosco University, as our speaker. I would like to request Dr. C.S. Sanwal sir to please felicitate Dr. Sen. We are honored to have Sri Nilesh Trivedi sir, Assistant Director, MSLE Government of India. I would like to request Dr. Sen, please felicitate sir. We have with us Dr. Nikhil Kumar Manoj sir, Assistant Professor, Department of Food Technology, Rajiv Gandhi University. I would like to request Dr. Sen to please felicitate sir. And at last we have Ms. Srijana Shrestha from Agapi Sikkim startup. She is operational head there. I would like to request Nilesh sir, please felicitate her.
ये आपने अच्छा किया MSME वाले का स्टार्टअप ये हमेशा इधर से इधर आता है
Now I would like to request C.S. Sanwal sir to please take over the session.
Good afternoon, everybody.
या ओके
Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, first of all, good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I would like to extend my warm welcome to everybody sitting here. Also, as I am coordinating this session, so we have 7 speakers in this session. Prior to that, I would like to give the background of Medicinal and our Ministry of Ayush. And secondly, I would like to thank the organizer of this event who has taken these crucial issues and important topics to highlight the issues between the Northeast region and as well as the domestic region. So, just to begin with, see, nature, just I will start the nature and end with the nature also. Basically, I am Dr. Chandrasekhar Sanwal, Masters in PhD in Agroforestry, and I also Indian Forest Service Officer of 2010 batch. Now I am on center deputation as Deputy CEO cum Director in National Medicinal Board, the nodal agency of Ministry of Ayush. So I would like to here at this paper give the backgrounds of the medicine plants first. See, medicine plants how this board was constituted. It is government board, not a autonomous board. It's purely part of ministry. Whenever we get any questions related to medicinal plants, so we are responsible in the parliament to give the reply. So why it was constituted is the first question. I think it will be beneficial to all. Be beneficial to all. First is medicinal. If you talk about like agriculture and forestry, primarily all plants are in the forest only, in situ cultivation. So forest guys are working on medicinal plants. So forest can be in the Ministry of Environment and Forest. Secondly, in ICR, cultivation activities related to the ICR, Ministry of Agriculture. Third is ICMR, if health issues, traditional medicines, previously in the Ministry of Health. This our ministry came to this in 2014 only. So overall, seeing this belongs to all the system, all the societies. Like we have got many professors from UGC universities also. So they are also working on medicinal plants. So board was constituted. It's an interministerial board, so that they can address the issues related to medicinal plants of all aspects. So this board was constituted, and this board is basically funding agency. We are providing funds for the research and development of this sector across the country. So this was regarded, this are with respect to medicinal plants. Second is, nature has been a source of why medicinal plants. Like the topic is medicinal technologies for the conservation and supply chain solution of this India and Western region. So why medicinal plants? See, after COVID-19, we have realized the value of medicinal plants, value of the traditional medicine. Nature has been a source of medicine, and herbal medicine is happening all over the world because herbal products are considered as safer than modern synthetic drugs, which sometimes used to ADR, AMR, which is adverse drug reactions, antimicrobial resistance, MDR, multi-drug resistance. So people are going towards traditional medicine across the world. I'm not putting India, because in American regions, AMRO, in European regions, in African regions. So recently, in the last year, ground ceremony happened for the GCTM, Global Center for Traditional Medicine. It's coming in the Gujarat and the Jamnagar regions. It is under WHO. So we are lucky, we are fortunate that it is coming in India. It's a global center of the under WHO. This is the first center of its kind by the United Nations. Third, I am coming to the topic. What are the numbers of medicinal plants? Because it's considered each and every plant is medicinal plants. So as per the estimate of Working Survey of India, it is considered 8,000 plants are medicinal plants. Out of that, 4,000 are in the Western Ghat, 3,000 in the northeastern regions, and remaining 1,500 in the Eastern Ghat and 1,500 in the Western Himalaya. This is the first study. Second study, we also supported a project to ICFRA, Well and Gorilla study, in 2017. They are telling if we see the market value of medicinal plants, see 100 metric ton. If the quantity is more than 100 metric ton, there are 242 medicinal plants. It is listed. And remaining commercial importance of little value, sorry, little in quantity, that is more than 1100. However, in Ayurveda, one book is there, medicine plants used in the Ayurveda. As per that estimate, is 2780 plants are used in the traditional medicines. So ultimately, these medicinal plants are the source of raw materials for the drug manufacturing companies. Also because Dawa, etc., many companies are there, where the regional offices are there in each and every part of the country. They are getting the raw material. And still, more than safety and efficacy of traditional medicine is more important. Still, 80% is coming from the forest only. And India has a competitive advantage of biodiversity. So the practice of traditional medicine. If we see in the northeast region, it harbors 4 biodiversity hotspots. One is in the northeast regions only. So return to nature is a common slogan nowadays. Everybody wants to get the herbal products. So the illegal harvest. So let us save the lifesavers. These are considered as lifesavers. By in situ conservation, means by the forest department, through cultivation also. So I am telling few highlights of our ministry, National Medicinal Board, for what kind of projects I'm not presenting here, otherwise it will take more and more time. Just I'm briefly summarizing here. In what kind of project we are giving the funds? First is IC activities, information, education, communications. If you want to conduct any workshop, any training programs, any exposure visits, so we have the funds for that. Not only at national level, but also at international level also. Second is conservation. I think this is the first department, this is the first ministry after next to the Ministry of Non-Forest, which is giving funds to the forest department for under two values. One is resource augmentation and one is MPCDA, Medicine Plant Conservation Development Areas. If the forest department thinks any area which is degraded, so they can augment it through our medicine plants, where the medicinal shrub, trees, as well as crops, anything. Also for value additions, if they see any community which is dependent on the forest, if we can have the directly B2B business to business between community as well as the market, consumers, so they can go for primary processing of their products. So also we are giving the funds for that. Ultimately is coming the marketing. Marketing is a major problem. We are dependent on the industries. We are having the bilateral agreements with the industries in each and every level. So we have launched National Medicinal Plant Board through CDAC Hyderabad has launched each-other portal. It is a web portal as well as mobile applications for virtual portal for facilitating the marketing of the medicinal plants. Here, I would like to appeal to all the guys here who are related to the medicinal plant. They can utilize this platform. It's a wonderful platform. Consumer as well as buyers, they can give their demands. Like farmer producer companies there. They can put there, we have so much quantity for selling. This is the price. They can quote it. Similarly, our industry people are also looking for that. Also, this portal is giving the prices of each and every mandi across the country. So, this was about the briefing. Lastly, I would like to give few comments to the northeastern regions as well as Bimstek regions. It is a part of Indo-Burma hotspot, our entire northeastern region. Similarly, our Bimstek region also. So first is cultivation for conservation. Many our speakers were discussing which kind of techniques are here. So all kind of techniques are here. See, National Medicinal Board this activity into a cultivation only. Because prior to that, 100% used to come from the forest only. Now, up to 70 to 80% coming from the forest. Remaining they are cultivating. So National Medicinal Board has developed 104 agro techniques in 3 volumes. Volume 1, 2 and 3. Like I should say, conservation by cultivation. Unless until people are cultivating it, only then it can be saved for the future generation. Otherwise, it will go to vanish and it will be extinct in the future. So 4 volumes is also ready. So definitely we are going to increase like Aquileia species. One of the speakers will talk about Aquileia species. So we have agrotechnic for that also. Paris polyphylla, anti-cancer drugs. These are the medicinal plants of this region only. That's what I'm highlighting. Second is MPCDA and resource augmentation. So we have given the funds for establishment of 24 MPCDA in this region, especially in the northeastern regions. Also, I discussed with the CEO of SNDP of this Arunachal Pradesh. So under UNDP program, they have developed 4 MPCDA. So we have the mechanism for the maintenance also. If the department is interested for their maintenance, they can come up with the projects that can be funded as per the guideline. Third is value additions. If we find any plants, like one Pal Masala is very famous plant this year. I think you were talking of at that time. So for their value addition, people can go for primary processing, and if they can generate the market, so we can provide the products so that our people can be benefited by it. So 49 questions have been given under this activity. 40 teacher portal I have spoken. And the last is, again I would like to give this insight to all our audience. Institutional mechanism. We are running 37 state medicinal board through our NNPB and also our 7 residence center. So residence center for this place is under NIST Jorhat. So one of our PI is there. So if you find any problem, any assistance, they can contact to respective state medicine board, CU, as well as NIST, CSR NIST. So with these words, I would like to end my presentation. My address, thank you very much. The virtual presentation by Professor Narayan Shah, Professor Narayan Shah, Department of Forestry and Science, School of Agriculture and Mineral Sciences, Shahjal, University of Science and Technology, Salet, Bangladesh, from Bangladesh. Sir, welcome you, sir. So you can come to your topic and you can introduce yourself, sir, please.
Sir, please unmute yourself first.
Yeah, I'll share the slides, okay? I cannot share my slide. Greetings from Shahjal University of Science and Technology, Sylhet, Bangladesh. I am Dr. Narayan Shah, Professor of the Department of Forestry and Environmental Science at the same university. Honorable Chairperson, respected distinguished guests, and other stakeholders of the 8th Northeast Initiative 2024. Most welcome to a brief presentation on the conservation perspectives of supply chain.
Support.
I'm not really University, which is based on basically the review of some public articles. It should be noted that relevant data and information on this area are pretty scanty in Bangladesh. However, this study has made an utmost effort to provide at least an overview of the immediate and past and current situation of supply chains of medicinal plants resources in Bangladesh. Okay. First of all, I'll introduce my theme of this presentation. People are becoming conscious of their health and seeking alternatives to modern medicines using variety synthetic chemicals. Medicinal plants have been used globally to treat diseases since 2015. Nonetheless, these are significant sources of income generation and employment creation. Over 4 billion people of the world and 75% of Bangladesh people use herbal medicine for primary health care. The demand for medicinal plants in Bangladesh is increasing day by day. The country is endowed with a great variety of medicinal plants. Unfortunately, these valuable plants have been depleting rapidly because of unsustainable exploitation. Conservation of medicinal plants is now a growing concern of the government of Bangladesh. Supply chain of medicinal plant resources has an important role in smoothly operating demand and supply mechanism, so that people have easy access to herbal medicines. Supply chain has potential powers to strengthen the sector in a sustainable way. Despite the importance of supply chain, this sector remains almost unexplored. Considering these viewpoints, this presentation has been undertaken to analyze the supply chain of medicinal plant resources in Bangladesh from a conservative or conservation perspectives. Here, I use the term conservation. It means the prevention of wasteful uses and maximization of medicinal plant resources which will ultimately help in the development of plant diversity and serve in the available supply sources of medicinal plant resources. Here you see we used the secondary data for this study. I don't have any primary data because I have not undertaken any study on the supply side, and I have not found any recent data also, available data and information on this area. So I used internet searching, Google Scholar, Research Aid, libraries, and different agencies that deal with medicinal plant. The supply set of medicinal plant analysis was done. It covers the activities of different actors of medicinal plants. I will explain this thing because I'm not using the slides. So I will just summarize the situation. Their contribution to improve the supply side and identifying the driving forces of production and conservation. Here you see the common medicinal plants, and in fact I just prepared my speech based on the slides, so that's why it's some problem I will arise, I think. So don't take it otherwise. Okay. So you know, the Bangladesh has about 450 to 500 common medicinal plants used as raw materials for herbal medicine. In the area of Ayurvedic, Unani, homeopathy, and modern medicine. Medicinal plants grow naturally in the forest, homestay, agricultural land, water bodies, and forest land. The area of the production, the lesser home of the medicinal plants in Bangladesh are Chattogram Estates, Silet, Malaysia, Shanghai, Modapur, and Kushtia. You know, the cell of the supply chain of medicinal plants, it is very complex. It makes it very complex.
Pardon me, I would like to have a request with the speaker. Can you summarize within 2 minutes only? Because only 5 minutes have been given to each and every speaker.
Sir,
We are getting
sir,
late.
you need to
Only
summarize.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Major highlights you can summarize.
Only 5 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Actually,
As per the program,
Oh.
I think 5 minutes is given to each and every speaker. Sorry, 5 or 10 minutes.
10 minutes. 10
So
minutes,
please, can you summarize within 5 minutes only? No problem.
Okay, I'll just take the opportunity and challenges of the areas and opportunity and challenges of patients. So, okay. Climate and soils of Bangladesh are suitable for diverse rural. Most of the poor people live in rural areas, and they are easy access to the herbal medicine. Sea and low side effects are also major opportunities to attract urban people also. Herbal products are easily available in all of our countries. Government of Bangladesh encourages stakeholders to produce and export herbal products. Challenges: high dependency on input resources for raw materials, sources of raw materials of herbal medicine. It is significant challenges of seeking alternatives. Rapid destruction of national forests due to rural poverty and lack of awareness of conservation is a major challenge to become success of finding local production for sustainability. Lack of proper knowledge about quality, prices, sales promotion, and other market information is also an important challenge to take immediate measures. Lack of knowledge about medicinal plants by the new generation is the challenge to expand the herbal practice. According to accounting for the real cost of conservation activities to the poor and recognizing biodiversity as a livelihood resources as well as global market goods are another important challenges to undertake conservation activities. Commercial production hinders by limited renewable lands because Bangladesh has limited land resources with high population density. easy access to modern medicine. Recommendations, I will make some recommendations. Commercial production through community participation should ensure forest conservation as well as provide socio-economic benefits to the rural poor and medicinal plant-based entrepreneurs. Recognition of medicinal procedures occurs Korea and Hakim Kobiras should be necessary to scale up the sector. All supports services of the cultivation and marketing of medicinal plants from local government officials and non-government organizations should be prioritized. Arrangement of training on the cultivation process of medicinal plants in different production areas of Bangladesh should be initiated. Researches on exploring the new medicinal plants should be conducted. Awareness building program for the users and other stakeholders to use the herbal products and maintain the quality of the product, plants and products should be undertaken by the relevant organization. Easy funding to the export-oriented and import substitute herbal organization to increase production from green finance funds of the Bangladesh Bank should be ensured. Conclusion: supply chain of medicinal plant has revealed that herbal medicine-based enterprises are employment and income generating as well as profitable sector of the economy. Herbal products are utilized as green products globally. Thereby, expansion of this market as well as increasing cultivation of medicinal plants can ensure healthy nation within a partner. Despite many challenges, proper management, this industry can flourish like other health foreign copyright because of the country.
Medicinal plants. So, sir, the expectation is to reflect the biodiversity of medicinal plants, especially the major plants which are endemic to this, like Coptis theta, Elysian Kepethai, and Panax Tigogenes, especially with respect to Miss Mills, etc. Sir, please. And over to you, sir.
Thank you. At outset, I would like to thank the organizer to give me this opportunity to be a part of this particular session. And with the permission of the I start a short deliberation. Because I have brought a long PPT, but looking the time and other things, I think it should not be fair here because already running late. Now, the topic if you see here is very specially designed, particularly medicinal plants technologies for conservation. This is a little confused technologies, in what sense it is being used. But if you see really today, it is linked with the continuous supply of resources. So now we should know medicinal plants is being used by each and everyone everywhere throughout the world. And if you try to find out the data from our National Medicinal Plant Board, you can see the data from the IOS and the World Health Organization. Everywhere it is very clearly mentioned the importance and the needs of the conservation of medicinal plants. Now, looking about the importance and medicinal plants supply to fulfill the industrial demands. Normally, we must try to understand first about the northeastern regions, and yes, already it is being focused, highlighted. Mausar in his topic in the morning also, he has very clearly given the importance of our traditional knowledge systems, how our communities are using the medicinal plants. So, in Northeast, as Sir has already highlighted this Western Ghat, Northeast region, two particular region in our country, the biodiversity hotspot, so you will get lots of plants, and out of those diversity, we have almost 30 to 40% endemic species. So that is one our important, but some of the endemic species found here are not available in other parts. Now, in particular reference to Northeast, if we talk about the diversity of medicinal plants, so we have highest number of species which are mostly fulfilling the demand of high value medicine, so the plants which we say GSMP, globally significant medicinal plants. Now, we do have lots, but whether still our knowledge regarding medicinal plants is really being fulfilled, or knowledge is being very properly disseminated? No. we are teaching, we are doing research, yes, but even then our medicinal plants are not being provided. We have lots of books now published, but still we feel our overall documentation of medicinal plants is not completed. The first thing, because looking the diversity of plant resources in North East and particularly Arunachal Pradesh, we need to do a lot. Okay, we have already listed lots of medicinal plants, but even then the authentication and identity is not being very nicely done for some of these species. So that's why it is very important for all of us to try to document properly. Then now the conservation initiative. Today, if you see, categorize those known 3,000 plus medicinal plants, but everybody will get surprised how 3,000 or 4,000 medicinal plants are being available in Northeast. But if you see simply what we are doing normally, we normally categorize this in three different ways. One is high value medicinal plants, like lots of species which are having industrial demands and are being under cultivation. Ministry of Ayush and others, everywhere it is being posted, please cultivate this. Secondly, there are lots of common medicinal plants. The second category, we have a huge group which are being commonly used in each and everyday life, but maybe the industrial demand in the present day is not there. Maybe in future we will get more industrial demand after complete study of the secondary metabolites. Thirdly, we do have the medicinal plants in the region which are traditionally used. If you see our ethnomedicine or ethnobotanical knowledge, we are in the richest region in the world. So because of the cultural diversity, Northeast India is already known as a paradise for ethnobotanists or anthropologists. And if you see and go to the remote areas, people are using lots of species, and these species are not being properly known to us. So we should think about those species, identifying them, then properly documenting the secondary metabolites, and think about next processing. Secondly, now yes, we know now medicinal plants, but talking about conservation here, conservation means particularly to ensure the supply. So cultivation is very needy, because you cannot continuously extract or collect or harvest from the forest. Till now what we are doing, and that's why our illegal trades are being continuously going on. We have got a lot of species under threats. कंपनीज कितना बोलते थे अभी देखने के लिए you are not getting it. Texas वाली चीज़ है हालत सेम है. Elysium Gibbons are there in some of the protected patches. And the last 2 years are we looking about homolog and aerobatica. No natural populations, only they are in protected areas. So this is the situation. So what we should do now? Because they, in one way, these species are having high market demands. That's why we should ensure let us start the cultivation. So we need to cultivate, and now we need technological intervention. For cultivation, we have to find out the best technology. Apply the technological aspects and cultivate. Now the NIST is taking lead in the country, particularly from the Jorahat. Lots of things are happening. And now ICAR is also taking initiative. The KVKs are taking initiative in cultivation. And as I said, medicinal plant conservation center areas are being initiated in all the parts of North. So let us start with ex situ and in situ, both are way of conservation. So when we talk about ex situ conservation, think about cultivation. But cultivation is the biggest issue. When we talk about cultivation and ask the farmers to cultivate, are we ensuring the markets? Without market linkages, you cannot really ask the communities to cultivate, because communities are trying from long, but they are not getting good market. So we need to now tie up. Now for value addition and processing of medicine, we need technological intervention. Without technology, neither you can properly process the material, because it is a tropical area. When you start doing something about ginger and lots of materials are being degraded. So you do not have proper technologies to dry them and package them or supply them. So these are the very important needs of the hour. For that, what is the major issue is, until unless we work together, we need to have a proper understanding. Each and every stakeholder should come forward. Then only it is possible. Because otherwise, we think now what we are doing independently. I am doing biodiversity research in medicinal plants independently. Another scientist is doing in chemistry. But still now, we are not having that some collaborations where we can bring the communities in front of us and tell them that this is the scenario, you do it, I will help you with this technology. I will come forward, I will give you the market. Until unless we do in such a way, it is not possible to uplift our biggest resources of the country. These resources can really push our economy ahead. But for that, there is a technological intervention is needed, but importantly, this is one of the big platform where I found our botanic director of botanic survey of India sitting here, the representative from even deputy CEO from Medicinal, transport is here, the industry persons is there, the chemist who is continually devoting his life in the chemistry part. So all these stakeholders and retired PCC officer who is now actively involved in various issues, and the students of course. So now we should expand such talk in a bigger way, bring the communities, tell them, then only you can really think to improve the medicinal plant sectors. Otherwise, okay, but this take reason, that's why this region is incorporated. Because our northeast, we are bordering with Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, Thailand, our resources are available with them. If you talk about Bangladesh, Tipli, Piper, Langam, which we know our Tipli of Ayurveda, the cultivation is being done in Bangladesh in a higher volume. Whether we are doing those, so many of the cases it is not known. So please, some of these special like Optiskita, Texas, they are already under threats, but still we have enough time to do. If we start doing properly, I think we can think for proper conservation and utilization of resources. Thank you very much. Because shortage of time, I summarize my talk. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Professor Badan Tudar sir, who explained very nicely the importance of community as well as how can we take community to large scale projects through our entrepreneurship as well as our hardship, especially in development of projects, providing the market supply, etc. Now I would like to call on next speaker, who is Sri Naresh Trivedi Saab, Assistant Director, Branch MSMEs, Regional Office of Ministry of Micro and Small and Medium Enterprises. He is from Development and Facilities Office from Tura, Meghalaya. So I would like to request you, sir, can you make medicinal commodity in such a way can explain so that our farmers community can be benefited? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. This is the MSME definition in which micro enterprise, investment in machine up to 1 crore and turnover is up to 5 crore is from this micro enterprises. And 1 crore to 10 crore in machine investment is small and turnover is up to 50 crore. Next please. My sincere request, everyone who want to start their manufacturing, trading or service unit should register free of cost on our udyogregistration.gov on.in. 15 minutes time it takes, and after that you are able to take government, central government, state government incentive, facility, concession, subsidies. So this is the free of cost. Next please. Next. We provide training, entrepreneurship awareness program, entrepreneurship skill development program and management development program, in which financial institutions, technical institutions, some projects, experience of industries, export management, marketing management, logistic management are the main topics. All these courses are free of cost for women, and for male entrepreneur it is just 100 rupees for a 2-week program and 200 for 1 month program, and it is free for SC/ST also. Then we have a scheme of promotion of MSMEs in NER. The most important scheme is for you purpose is homestays. The cluster of 10 homestays, we will provide 90% funding. Total fund we will provide 5 crore, out of which 90% will be given by Government of India. Remaining 10%, that is 4 crore 50 lakhs will be provided by Government of India. 50 lakhs will be provided by concerned state government for the creation of common bakery, common laundry, common IT infrastructure, potable water, cultural centers. Next please. This is most important. If you want to set up your industry, first you go to bank asks, please submit collateral. You told them, sir, as per CGTMSC scheme, there will be no guarantee or particular percentage of guarantee. That is only 25% guarantee has to be given to the bank, because 75% loan guarantee is taken care by Ministry of MSME, Government of India under CGTMSC scheme. And at present 1 crore 58 lakh crore guarantee has been given by Government of India in the current year, and last year 1 lakh crore. This is the most important. This is applicable for all, whether trader, कोई दुकान खोल रहा है, whether manufacturer, कोई industry manufacturing industry में है, या कोई service industry setup कर रहा है. Next please. Next. This is most important for our micro small entrepreneurs. वो कहते हैं साहब मार्केट कहाँ है? गवर्नमेंट इज द बिग प्रोक्योरिंग एजेंसी. लास्ट ईयर 1,72,000 crore worth of goods and services has been procured by government of India, out of which 37% has gone to micro small enterprises. Tender form will be provided free of cost. There will be no payment of earnest money deposit and 15% purchase preference is there. So this is a very good scheme, 25 public procurement policy. It means if government procuring 1 lakh, then 25,000 amount will be procured from micro, small, manufacturing and service enterprise mandatorily. It is mandatory. Next please. This is our GEM portal, this is Ministry of Commerce, in which, look at the figure, total 3,53,000 crores value in current financial year, and around 50% value has been gone in the hands of micro, small enterprise. So you should register your goods and services on GEM portal. Next. This is for particularly Northeast region. We have scheme for Spurti, the scheme of fund for regeneration of traditional industries. They want to set up their traditional, like in Silsila, cashew cluster is there. In North Garhoi, we are supporting Pseudomonas stem, banana processing cluster, honey processing cluster, handicraft clusters, canned bamboo clusters. Under which if 500 artisans are united, we will give support of 2.5 crore. And if artisans ranging from 500 to 1,000, then we will provide support of rupees 5 crores. This is totally a very good scheme for this Northeast region. And livelihood business incubator, if government unit set up this livelihood business incubator, we will provide 100% grant. Next up for 1 crore. Next. This is our marketing scheme that you have talking. We will support if any entrepreneur want to exhibit their product in metro region. Then we will provide 1,50,000 rupees towards airfare, stall charges. If you want to participate other than metro, then 80,000 rupees will be given by my department. If you want to take barcode of your product, then around 80% cost, maximum 50,650 rupees has been given by my department. If you want to exhibit your product on global platform, NSIC Global Mart, in which you can register your product, 75% of fees, max 25,000 has been given by my department. And one more important thing, geographical indication registrations. If you open the GI shop, GI product shop, in Arunachal there are 5 GI products. And various GI products are in our country, around 436. So for this GI product, we will support for obtaining GI registration to the tune of rupees 2 lakhs. And for opening of shop to sell the GI product is 20 lakhs for other region and 30 lakhs for metro region, out of which 50% will be given by my department. Next. 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 I have explained barcode, I have explained next. This is most important. If you, any of student, have an idea, you submit to our host institution. And if your idea got approval, you will get 15 lakhs to create from idea to project or development of prototype. And your host institution will able to get grant of rupees 1 crore to create R&D infrastructure under our MSME Realty scheme in the incubation component. Next. For design, if any student help in designing of MSMEs, then 75% cost, max 2.5 lakhs will be given by Government of India. Remaining 25% will be borne by concerned MSME for which the student has made design. Next. This is most important, IPR. You do trademark, take reimbursement from us, max 10,000. Normally trademark 6 to 9,000 is completed. And for design registration, we will provide support of 15,000. For domestic patent, we will provide support of rupees 1 lakh. For international patent, we will provide support to the tune of rupees 5 lakhs. And for GI registration, for 2 lakhs to the society. So it is my urge to disseminate this information of GI registration. More and more GI will help the export benefits. These are the IPR benefits. Next. Z certification, this is the green concept, in which if you adopt cleaner technology, cleaner production technology, then we will provide subsidy to the tune of 80% to our micro entrepreneurs. 3 lakhs for purchasing of cleaner production technology and 2 lakhs for handholding support, which will be given to QCI consultants. This sustainable Z certification, zero defect, zero effect scheme. Next. 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 This is most important. If you want to sell and exhibit your product on international level, then my department has participated in 707 international exhibitions, in which every MSME can participate. We will provide one MSME to the rupees of 5 lakhs as a reimbursement. 3 lakhs for stall and 1 lakh 50,000 for airfare, 50,000 for incidental expenses. All these expenses, all these subsidies, all these incentives will be provided to you if you are registered with our Udyam, which is free of cost. And this is the first time capacity building for first time exporter. We provide support of 1,30,000 for RCMC, ECGC insurance, and that testing and certification charges. This is the first time exporters. Next. 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 This is our cluster scheme, micro small enterprise cluster development. Group A, 5 crore to 10 crore, in which 90% grant will be given to entrepreneur. Only 10% will be provided by concerned micro small cluster. And for B2, in which funding support from 10 crore to 30 crore, 80 crore or 80% grant will be provided by state and central jointly. Remaining 20% by concerned. Next. And for Northeast region, the grant is more. It is 95%. For A1 CFC and for B2 CFC, it is 85%. So this is a very good scheme in which common facility, common processing center, common technology, modern processing techniques, capacity building, exposure visits. Next. This is the trade platform, I will explain later. This is also SC/ST hub scheme. This is very important. If any SC/ST entrepreneur want to set up their unit, then 25% capital subsidy will be provided by NSIC, National Small Industries Corporation, which is our sister concern. So this is a very good scheme. If you have not taken any benefit, you can take a benefit from this and SC/ST hub scheme. Next. And one more important thing, this PM Vishwakarma recently announced by Prime Minister, in which the person who work with hands and crafts like badai, sutar, that barber, cobbler, broom maker, mat maker, then we will provide free of cost training 5 days in 500 rupees as a stipend. Then advanced training, 15 days training. In this training also 500 rupees will be given as a stipend. And then 1 lakh rupees enterprise development loan on 5% interest cost. This is a very good scheme, PM Vishwakarma. And our main ministry scheme is PMEGP. If you want to set up your service enterprise, we will provide funding support of 20 lakhs, in which 35% subsidy for female in village area and 25% subsidy for female in urban area. And 15% subsidy for urban area for male entrepreneurs of general category, and 25% subsidy in village area. In 7 years you have to repay the amount of loan. And if your industry is manufacturing, then the loan limit is 50 lakhs. So these are the main prominent schemes which support MSMEs. Thank you very much.
10 minutes.
Next speaker, I would like to call upon Dr. Nikhil Kumar Manhur, Assistant Professor, Department of Food Technology, Rajiv Gandhi University, Arunachal Pradesh. So he is talking about functional foods, the value of functional foods for our community and medicine plants. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Am I audible? Okay, first let me introduce myself. I am Dr. Nikhil Manhur, working as an assistant professor at the Department of Food Technology, Rajiv Gandhi University. I can consider myself at the startup stage because our department is quite new. We are just 3 years old. So I don't know which startup fund would be helping us to grow big. But in a nutshell, my big background is I develop technologies for food processing or solutions for food processing. So I think I might be able to take a dive into how we can even process medicinal plants. So what we do is we generally export or maybe the raw material directly. What if we can do some value addition? So I will just come into that at the last part of my presentation. Well, I just want to let my presentation run. Can you go for the first slide? Second slide, I think this is everybody knows. Now, there are two things which we need to differentiate. First is nutraceuticals and then there is functional foods. Food as medicine, it's fine, but food is not directly medicine. Okay, it is indirectly helping us, or they can be called as therapeutics. Along with medicine, we can have such foods which will help in benefiting us. So basically, nutraceuticals are just concentrated forms of materials which are extracted from different plant materials. Okay, suppose for example, or animal materials. For example, if we take fish oil and convert them into tablet form, so it becomes a nutraceutical, which is rich in omega-3, omega-6 fatty acid. Now, fish itself can be called as a functional food. Okay, or a common example of a functional food is Tata salt. Okay, not to comment that I'm basically saying about Tata salt. Tata salt is what? It is iodized, right? So adding iodine is a functional ingredient. It helps in protecting our thyroid gland, thyroid functions. So foods can have specific functions. So and then they can be treated as helping us with our ailments. Okay. So functional foods is something which has an added advantage to it. Okay. For example, some milk companies add vitamin D into their milk. So vitamin D deficiency is known to everybody. Okay. So that can be sorted out. So functional foods can be categorized into different types of ingredients, okay, or constituents. They can be bioactive carbohydrates, and talking about the term bioactive means things which have some amount of biological activity. Either it is helping us physiologically or having some antimicrobial properties. So bioactive carbohydrates are some like 3-hallose and starches. Then we have bioactive lipids like omega-3 fatty acid, omega-6 fatty acids. We have bioactive peptides, that is proteins which are broken down. And then we have bioactive polyphenols. So I am basically considering towards this direction polyphenols like carotenoids, flavonoids, and even some other plant phytonutrients which we call them. Okay. And then there are another set of functional foods which are probiotic microorganisms. Okay. So can we go to the next slide? Okay, so we all know functional ingredients have all functions which are related to our health. So we can just simply skip it. Okay, so coming to another important functional ingredient which are essential oils. Okay, we all know essential oils. Basically, what we do is we buy them, burn it with the candle, and our room smells good. But some of the essentials oil, or many of the essentials oil, are having great nutritional property or great bioactive properties. Okay. So Arunachal Pradesh is rich a land having numerous types of plant edible materials which do have some functional benefits to them. Okay, so in my lab we researched recently some of the ingredients we just started. So we worked on few of the raw materials from Arunachal like bitter orange, mountain pepper, black turmeric and ginger. Next. So we extracted their essential oils and we found that many of them have antimicrobial activities against specific bacteria like Escherichia coli, Salmonella and Listeria. So out of these these plant materials, we found that mountain pepper, which is scientifically known as Riccia cubeba, and in local language, I think people call it thyme. So this is having huge amount of antimicrobial property, or we get good amount of antimicrobial activity when we compare it to a conventional antimicrobial agent which is chloroamphenicol. So we see that the chloroamphenicol is giving us antimicrobial zone of around 30 mm, while mountain pepper reaches up to 20 mm in case of Listeria monocytogenes. So we presume that out of these materials, this first four are from Arunachal, and they do have some good amount of antimicrobial activity. So this is one functional property. Next. So next functional property, all the medicinal plants which we talk about consists of phenolics, we consist of flavonoids, and we call about, when we also talk about this antioxidant activity. So we tested our material, the essential oil which we extracted for all these activities, and found out that they do have good amount of antioxidant activities, good amount of polyphenol content, and even total flavonoids as well. Okay, next. So now this is one place where I find we applied some essential oil in a food system, okay, to make it more better. So as a food technologist, I basically try to provide foods which are safe to it. Okay, so we developed a ginger-based beverage, and this is an initial experiment which we did, was all the things which we eat are now thermally processed. Okay, when we go for thermal processing, what happens is many of the compounds get degraded. So we might not get the full benefits out of it. So what we try to do is we just have an initial experiment where we added some amount of essential oil to our ginger-based beverage, and we treated it at 50 degrees centigrade. Now conventional thermal treatment is generally done at a temperatures of around more than 70 or 80 degrees centigrade. Okay, so what we found that if we add essential oil, and even at 50 degrees centigrade, we can achieve a marked microbial inactivation. So we can render food safe if we increase the temperature and also add essential oil. Maybe not at 70 degrees centigrade, we might be able to achieve the same microbial inactivation at a lower temperature. So getting better quality of foods or having better properties. Okay, so just keep it here. So now I will come to the last part of my presentation or my talk, that what other technologies we can do. As Sir Padma Sir also suggested that one important point was there is degradation of biological activity of materials when we consider medicinal plants. So now what we can do is, we as a food technologist or like any technologist person, what they will develop technologies to save it. Now for example, in this case essential oil, these are highly volatile. They will simply go to the atmosphere if you keep it open. Okay, so the thing is, we can convert them into other goods like emulsions, and give you a common example of an emulsion is like mayonnaise. Okay, so if something we can convert it into an emulsion, or we can make some carriers in which this essential oil can be added, so they will help as a delivery vehicle, or we can call them as also as a protective agent which will conserve the bioactive properties of such materials. And there are numerous technologies also. So in the first part of my talk, when I started, I told that there will be some, what we do is we sell these raw materials directly to big companies outside. So what we can do is we can establish extraction centers. I think in Tejpur there is, I think, an essential oil distillery where they extract essential oil components. So what we can do is we can use such technologies, or we can take help of newer technologies like ultrasound technology, or maybe microwave extraction, or maybe some new technologies like pulse electric field. Okay, so there are new technologies which we can work upon and develop or extract these molecules, and show some targeted delivery system. We can protect them and we can directly sell them off, or we can be able to make a product out of it. So that's all. Thank you everybody. Thank you for the opportunity.
Sonapur. I also have a startup called Uija Biosolutions Private Limited, and I have been working on this medicinal and aromatic plant called agarwood since 2012, which started as my postdoctoral work. So I shall basically be sharing my journey or the learnings, experiences that I have during the work on this medicinal plant. And also I have tried to share or bring up some thoughts which might be relevant to today's discussion. You go to the next slide. So if you go to my lab, this is the board that you will find. We have tried to summarize what agarwood is. agarwood plant gets naturally or artificially injured by insects or by artificial means. You can see below it has been nails have been dug into the plant, and that leads to the formation of resins in the wood. And as you can see on the right side, those are the chips that have been extracted out, and these chips are then subjected to distillation to get the oil. And this agarwood oil is one of the most expensive oil in the world. 1 kg of oil can cost starting from 5 lakh rupees up to 20 lakh rupees based on quality. So next slide please. So this slide also summarizes the same thing. You can see that agarwood formation happens by the involvement of insect and fungi, and these interactions are what we started off first as a scientific study. I am purely an academician, but then I slowly graduated into commercialization, seeing the potentiality of the technology. So next slide, sir. So agarwood, as I have already said, is the most expensive wood in the world. It is having a history of 2,000 to 3,000 years, and in India, agarwood is almost entirely sourced from Northeast India. And you can see that is the part of the world where you find agarwood. And BIMSTEC therefore has a very important relevance. Apart from maybe Nepal, all the other BIMSTEC countries are agarwood producing countries. And apart from agarwood oil, there is tradition of agarwood being used as paper and as perfumery. Next slide, please. So this is one of our papers. When the paper came for review, the reviewer had asked me to incorporate the commercial aspects of agarwood, and this is one of the most cited papers of mine, although it's a review on the trade aspects of agarwood. So agarwood has an estimated $6 to $8 billion market. The supply is confined to South Asian, ASEAN and BIMSTEC countries. Based on the site's data, we did an analysis of the information. Although information is very scanty, the traditional supply of agarwood comes from countries like India, Bangladesh, China, Malaysia, and the markets are in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, UAE, Australia, Sri Lanka, Laos, Papua New Guinea are upcoming areas, and the West is now starting to go for the agarwood fragrance, although it was mostly confined to Middle East. The top importers are Saudi Arabia, Singapore and Kuwait. The top exporters are Singapore, Thailand, UAE, Indonesia, Bangladesh and Malaysia. Next slide. So this is data basically about the different types of agarwood products, and it is basically dominated by agarwood chips. And of course agarwood oil, it is not that much visible in the graph because the percentage is 0.02% oil is produced, so that is less. Next slide please. So this is where I want to talk about. After going through our work, and particularly this Frontiers Plant Science paper, I was approached by BBC Earth for an interview. And in that interview, the person, Dan O'Neill, who is the producer, he said that in Heathrow Airport there was a seizure of agarwood material, and that inspired him to make a program on agarwood. So since agarwood is only used in perfumery, he said that why is it not banned? So in that interview, my immediate response was that if agarwood production is done properly, if the wild populations are replenished, why not incentivize? Because livelihoods are associated. We have the example of homestays where it is doing well, and of course science and technology. So this science and technology aspect, I will just brief a bit. Next slide please, sir. So this is our first paper where we tried to profile the agarwood metabolically. Next slide please. So this is a traditional process of agarwood. We took the samples, did a chemical analysis, and then put it to statistical analysis, that's a PCA plot. and where we found that the soaking process where agarwood is soaked prior to distilling out the oil, it has some important significance which requires studies. Next slide please. So this is our next paper that came in Scientific Reports. Next slide, sir. So here we took fungi and we did an interaction study with agarwood callus. Next slide. So here these dots are nothing but fungus callus interaction, and those fungi which interacted more with the callus, they coalesce near the oil. So from here we selected organisms. Next slide please. And we tried to simulate the process through which agarwood formation takes place naturally. And we found that the interaction of agarwood with fungi with callus, as you can see there, that interaction part, it produces compounds which were not present in any other sample. So next slide. This is another study where we tried to do the fermentation or simulate the fermentation in lab. We found that compounds which are very critical to agarwood aroma are getting produced during fermentation. Next slide please. So this was the point of IP generation. We applied patents. The patents were granted in 2021. 2 patents were granted, both from these 2 technologies that I have explained. So this led to an ideation to go for commercialization or try out the idea for it. Next slide please. So we secured the big grant, BIDAC big grant. It comes around 40 to 45 lakhs. So there we did nothing at the upstream or the downstream of agarwood production, but just at the fermentation step or the wood soaking step, we tried to develop a formulation. Next slide. So this is my team. We worked in Biotech Park, IIT Guwahati. And next slide please. So this is how we tried to simulate the fermentation process that otherwise is done traditionally inside the lab. We designed our own fermenters, and this is how we fermented the wood. Next slide please. And also distilled the oil. So these are information about the oil. Next slide please. So we secured the next phase of funding also, which is called the BIDAC CP. And by that time, the company, my company, Voyager Biosolutions was formed. And there we tried to scale up the technology. Next slide, please. So this slide represents the field trials that we did, and it was very encouraging. This is the first trial. Next slide. Second trial, up to 15 to 16% increase in yield was shown in the trial. We worked with the rural community where they do traditional agarwood distillation. We did it there. Next slide please. This is where we did a massive field marketing trial in Hojai. Hojai is the center of agarwood trade, and this is where we suffered failure because the trial that we did, it didn't work there. And this is also I wanted to convey particularly to the student friends who are attending or research scholars that you have to be ready for failures. So this is where it failed, and we again had to go back to the drawing board. So I'll leave it till here. Next slide please. So this is my research in Assam Don Bosco University where I work as assistant professor. This is my team, and I have a DST project there. Next slide. So we are trying to see whether the aroma environment, that means the fragrant plant material, does it contain organisms which have assumed fragrant properties? So this is one of our studies. Next slide please. So we tried to isolate organisms from different sources and tried to see their enzymatic properties. Next slide. So this is a microbial consortia which we have developed. This paper is under final stages of review. Next slide. So this is also another work where we have tried to do fermentation and produce aroma in the laboratory using fungi. These fungi are isolated from aroma sources, plants, aromatic plants. Next slide. So we are also trying to see the plant insect microbe continuum, because agarwood, as I mentioned, has fungus as well as insect component. So here also we are trying to see what are the microorganisms that are present in the gut, in the insect Neurosera conferta that leads to agarwood formation. This is one of our papers that got recently published. Next slide. So this is where I want to sign off, because my experience with agarwood helped me to think about some of these points which might be relevant. I feel that agarwood is an example there which is of shared heritage, particularly talking about cooperation among BIMSTEC countries or the regional level. So if we have an heritage, we have a natural affinity towards nurturing. So we should have an automatic sense of responsibility and a shared vision. Conservation and livelihood, they should not be conflicting. That was coming from my response to the BBC Earth question. In our study, we have tried to amalgamate traditional knowledge with technology. I have simulated most of my experiments, taking whatever is known traditionally and tried to study it scientifically. Confidence and capacity building is the need of the hour. Like many of the speakers have mentioned about package of practices for production of medicinal and aromatic plants. For many of these plants, they were not there, and how much of the package of practices have been adopted and are working, we should know. Then standardization and quality control is a big problem in agarwood oil. We do not have proper standards of agarwood oil. So when you send Ajmal group, they have their own standards, different people have different standards. Skill development, business and collaboration are the need of the hour. We need to be conversant with intellectual property and regulatory needs, because as running the startup, I have faced all these questions at different times. So I thought that it might be relevant to this discussion. So next slide. Thank you. This is my university campus. It's also a green campus. So welcome to visit.
Thank you very much, Dr. Susan. I think this is an innovative technology.
Indigenous women of the north part of the Sikkim. So our vision for Akapi is simple yet profound. We envision a world where sustainability isn't just a buzzword, but a way of life where every purchase has its purpose. We have about 40 products developed using indigenous plants. One of the key ingredients of our development is mugwort, also commonly known as the Tepati in Nepali. It is an aromatic herb, extremely good for skin. And, it is also believed in our culture to offer protection from negative energy. Apart from our commitment to ecological properties operation, our business model's core mission is to also provide skill development to the women, especially to the marginalized side of the society. So far, we have managed to train 300 plus women with the help of Sikkim government. So this indigenous women holds traditional knowledge, and with their traditional knowledge with indigenous plant and our modern sustainable practice, we merge and we produce this products. I'll keep it short because everything has been covered. But yeah, we do face a lot of challenges with sourcing our raw materials because of limited resources in Sikkim. But yeah, with the advancing biotechnology, we now have the eco-friendly ways to cultivate these medicinal plants, indigenous plants. which will not harness the natural habitats and without disrupting. Apart, okay, so what do I go? So our model is also decentralized. Our production, we also train women to make soaps and shampoo bars, which is the core thing we offer. So we source locally. They actually supply to us, and we don't have a large scale of production because of limited resources. So yeah, that is Agapi, everybody. We make skincare with love. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam. Actually, we need to have a collaboration with the industries so that we can meet the requirement of raw materials. Also, we can provide the trainings to the women and to the farming community. So that can be win-win situation to the both. Next, I think all the presentations have been made. So we can have the questions ready, otherwise we can conclude.
A very interesting model presentation. Thank you very much. And my sister and colleague from Sikkim, she speaks very little about her company, but they're doing a wonderful job back home in Sikkim. So glad to see them also presenting. Agarwood, very interesting. This is again. I'm coming to the lowest common villager out there. I was just googling about Agarwood. अभी जब आप बात कर रहे थे तो average में 10 साल का production है इसका, 10 साल का है, and the numbers that I see is mind boggling. अब 8 लाख रुपए में 2.5 करोड़ का तो यहाँ पे तो आपको profit दिखा रहा है. So 8 lakhs of investment and 2.5 crore rupees is what Google is showing in Agarwood, which means is this idea not gone to the last farmer in the last field? Because it looks like huge business for anybody who wants to invest in Agarwood as a. हम तो सिर्फ चंदन से लेते हैं, आज Agarwood का इतना business
resin, or maybe few plants will make the resin. So there comes the price goes up. That is why. So if we are able to make it more available, the supply is increased, then it can become more affordable. Otherwise, it's not affordable. The word agarbatti is coming from the word agar, but we don't have agar in agarbatti because it's no longer affordable. So there is the point.
Just a follow-up question on this. So can I one more follow-up question?
Just a comment on the agarwood. You see, last time I was in Geneva for this CITES meeting, and this was we had in CITES the government of Indian and Malaysian has a problem with this export because we have a problem because we have our data are not matching. India says, suppose we say we export 30,000 kg per year, but the Singapore government record says they import 40,000 from India. So there was a class. I mean, the differences were so much. That's why the CITES committee say India has to make the data right first. Then only we can exclude India from the list of these CITES, which is to be, banned or this thing. So that was there. But then we have carried out study just recently, and the report is submitted, and it is going to be boom for India in export, because earlier there was no proper data. So the ministry instructed my department, requested me to the DG of Forest requested me, why don't you carry it out, your department carry it out? So we said, okay, because scientists is important. So we took up a challenge and we did it. We visited all these Assam, Tripura, all the agar growing tree states. I found out that while it's negative, but for cultivated agar it is positive. So India can now export much higher quantity. You see, our team has found and estimated that Assam alone has about 139 million trees. And this Tripura is second. So now that is why, based on that calculation, the export also is going to, earlier it was only for the chips, wood chips, 25,000 kg was the quota for the country, which this forest department has fixed. Now it has jumped to 150,000 kg there. And then while earlier it was only 7.5 or something, but now that was a double, triple, it has become like that. So that's why the government also has calculated based on that, and just recently written to all the forest department in the states to give permit for export according to the calculation. So that's why in this agar wood, it's going to be big. It is going to be useful and also going to be very beneficial for the country. Earlier, what was happening is that due to the restriction of this export quota, most of it was going black market. And the government of India was losing all the revenue. And that is why they also decided that we should work in a proper way and get it done. So it is done like that. So that is a good news for our country. Thank you.
There are many research institutions or even private parties who claim to have mastered the art of artificial inoculation. So what are the fungal species which we have found in Afghanistan, which probably could be tried in the lab, and then which, if the protocol is working in the farmer's field. So if these species it can be identified, this is going to be a game changer, and this will be the key to make our farmers lakh-patis or even crore-patis in a matter of maybe 7-8 years. So can you suggest, can you tell us what are the species which are available and which probably RFRI, Jorhat is also doing, and this Azman group they are doing, then HM Chaudhary, I have seen his plantation in Laos, all these people are doing. So what is the secret, what I call fungal species?
So it's a secret with them. So even I don't know, sir, what is the secret. Even I don't know what is the secret, but our experience has been that somewhere around 30 species, 30 genera of fungi are, literature says that they are involved in agarwood induction. So it can be a combination of any of these. We have been pretty successful with fusarium, different types of fusarium. Lasiodiplodia has been one with which we have succeeded. So these are some of the genera that have worked. But I feel it goes up to the strain level. And also the role of bacteria, something which we suspect can be very interesting, because people have confined their studies mostly to fungi. So the bacterial angle is still to be studied. We have done some, I mentioned in the consortium, we are looking at bacteria, fungi together. So it's a very complex fermentation that goes on when the resin formation takes place. So these groups, whether they have identified and they have sorted. Yes, sir. RFRL also has a formulation. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we are not into artificial inoculations. Our formulation comes as in the middle step of soaking. The wood soaking, we have not worked on artificial inoculation. But I definitely feel that the artificial inoculation, if it works, that is the technology for the future. Because natural infection does not take place everywhere. Like I was saying to sir that the agarwood is rare because we don't have natural infection. So if it can be artificially induced, then it can be more affordable. Production can be increased.
So you are working on that, I hope you are working towards that.
Yes sir, we are working, we have again started working on the formulation. I think we'll have to sort out something there. And also on these consortium based approaches.
I will also request
Sure. Actually, I think we have supported your previously your projects. I remember it on Bosso. So if such projects are warmly welcomed, I think.
Yes, you need the support for projects, particularly for student activities. Because now, since a lot of MEP related things are coming up which are more experiential, so there we need support on
Definitely.
I
think Arunachal Pradesh, he has given his recommendation like documentation 4,000 medicinal plants and developing agrotechniques for industries and need of technological intervention, etc. And the third one is Sri Nilesh Trivedi, Assistant Director from Tura, Meghalaya MSME. I think he has explained so many schemes. The first one is the registration with them portal is the must one, and training related to skill development program, Surti schemes for the regeneration of traditional industries, barcode, GI registrations for export benefits, IEC schemes, JDD scheme, IC schemes, cluster basis scheme, SCSTI scheme. Thank you, sir. And next one is Dr. Nikhil Kumar, our panelist, Manhod, Assistant Professors, Department of Food Technologies. I think he has stressed and developing functional food, minimizing the exports of raw material. So you can develop the functional food, get the more benefits, especially the plants which are available here in our region like black turmeric, black ginger, bitter orange, and mountain pepper. Thank you very much. And the next one is Dr. Supriyo Sen, Assistant Professor, Department of Bioscience. As Don Bosco said, wonderfully has explained how inside the lab we can produce the agarwood oil. This is wonderful. And the last one is Srijana Sesta, Assistant Manager. I think she has explained nicely how we can have the collaboration with the industry so that we can develop different kind of indigenous products, especially from the northeast regions with industries like agarbatti, etc. Thank you very much. So here I would first of all I would like to give my thanks and to take the valuable initiatives to plan and organize this event to Vibgeo Foundations, Dr. Sankara, Sri Sankara Chaudhary sir from 8 Northeastern Green Summit. And secondly, sir, I would like to express my special thanks to our senior forest officers, Dr. Desai and Sir for his gracious presence and inspiring words. Thank you very much. And eventually, I would like to give my heartfelt gratitude and sincere thanks to our panelists, esteemed audience, including students from the Northeast regions. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone. Namaskar.